Okay, so I've got a bunch of seed. I've got a bunch of seed that Barenbrug sent me. Bamert sent me some seed. I got some seed on clearance last fall at Lowe's. I've got seeds coming out my wazoo. And this week we have a chance of rain every day for like the next 10 days or something like that. I was just looking at the forecast, and so there are some areas where I've been wanting to put seed, but I don't have irrigation. Actually, I don't have irrigation anywhere, but I don't even have a place to put a hose or a way to keep a hose up there and keep it irrigated. So, been crossing my fingers and hoping for a week just like this. So we're gonna throw her down and hope for the best.
Throw her down, boys. Let's hope for the best. Throw her down. Hope for the best.
Throw her down. Let's hope for the best.
Throw her down. Hope for the best.
Throw it down.
Yeah, and these guys are gonna help me throw it down. You ready? Yeah, they're excited about it. Let's go throw some seed out. By the way, don't do this at home. This is not advisable. This is stupid. Don't do this stupid stuff like I'm doing, okay? This is a how not to video. So the seed that I'm not putting out today is from Barenbrug. This one's called Shade Savant. Like I said, Barenbrug sent me all this seed from Barenbrug. They sent me Monaco. This is Turf Blue Pro. We're gonna be putting that down here in a little bit. This one is from Outside Pride. This is another type of Kentucky bluegrass. Man, if I find the name of the person that sent it to me, they messaged me on Instagram. This was last year. This was a year ago. I don't think I'm gonna find you. If you're there, comment, because I know you watch my videos, and I'll pin your comment so I can say thank you. I know I said thank you before, at least I really hope I did. But anyway, it was cool. They had it laying around. I said, well, hey, let me pay for shipping, and they shipped it over to me. Extra Kentucky bluegrass, because I am going for some Bermuda this year. Not exactly sure where all I'm doing it or exactly how or anything, but I am doing some Bermuda this year. So we're gonna do some of that too. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so the area behind you, behind the viewer here, is open. There's no trees right there, and Bermuda grows pretty well out there. Bermuda grows pretty well in the section that's not trees over there, but it's pretty thin right in here in the tree area. Pretty thin. There's not a, I don't know, one type of grass or whatever, so I kind of just decided at one point that I wanted to throw some seed down. I've got fescue. What is this? This is stuff I got on clearance at Lowe's. This is a shade mix. This is Southern Classic Shade Mix for tall fescue lawns. Thrives under tough southern conditions. So let's hope it lives up to its label on that part. Shade Savant would be good here, but I have other plans for at least part of this. I might come, if I have extra left over, I'll come throw her down up here after I'm done with the other plans I have for Shade Savant. Drought Destroyer, that's another one from Barenbrug. Actually, when I was talking to the Barenbrug folks, they said this would be good for a place that I didn't have irrigation, for a place that wouldn't get regular watering. So, cool. Thanks, Barenbrug. This is tall fescue, some Kentucky bluegrass. Oh, two different types of tall fescue and some Kentucky bluegrass, so awesome. This is another one I found on clearance. This is more tall fescue. Yeah, this is like 3 different types of tall fescue and a little bit of perennial ryegrass in this one. This is Monaco, that's Bermuda grass. Now this is going down in the Fairway over there. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Barenbrug Turf Blue, this is going down in my yard, a section where I'm going to experiment with Bermuda. And then this is that Outside Pride hybrid Kentucky bluegrass. This is going to go, I think, in a section that I get cleaned up in one of the new areas of my lawn that I'm wanting to do in the fall. So this one I might have to wait on. Well, I lost my helpers already. They ditched me. Like I said, this is stupid. Don't do this. I have no clue how much seed to soil contact I'm getting. No way to know if it's staying wet the whole time. Completely uncontrolled. But we're doing it. This is what I'm doing, okay? You should not. I will, however, say that this was the conversation when Barenbrug sent me stuff was, this is what I have. no irrigation, just places I like to get thick grass that could survive in the shade, and they said, okay, we'll send you this stuff. And that's what they sent me. So anyway, they know what I'm doing. They know how stupid I am. So that's 2 20-pound bags and 2 3-pound bags. 46 pounds of seed, mostly fescue, a little bit of rye, I think a little bit of Kentucky bluegrass, mostly fescue though. Okay, that wasn't bad, but this is gonna take a while. Crank this bad boy up to the max. Fully open. Ugh. Whoa, there we go. Whew. Okay, so this is the Fairway. Now this is close enough to the house, at least right here, where I can get a hose. I'm gonna put my tripod impact sprinkler up here if it starts getting dry. If it rains all week, I'd be like, hey, 5 thumbs up. But if it does start drying out, I'm gonna bring the impact sprinkler that's on a tripod, put it right out here and just set it to go round and round and round. So I'm gonna put it a little bit heavier right in that area, just because I think it has a little bit of a better chance of germinating since I can water it. But the Fairway goes way down there. I don't even know if you can see. You're gonna see me. I do want to make at least one pass like down the middle all the way down there to see if I can get like a green strip, and then maybe some of this will spread. I don't know. I actually don't see a ton of Bermuda in this. I just recently have mowed it down this short. But there's gotta be Bermuda out here, and I think the Bermuda will fill in. Like I said before, I don't know if what video has come out yet, but gonna have to start doing some weed killers out here and different things. But this is gonna be kind of a common Bermuda / maybe some Monaco Fairway, and I just wanna make that as nice as I possibly can. All right, the last spot for grass seed. Turf Blue Pro from Barenbrug. Barenbrug, you guys are awesome. You guys, I don't know if you've seen all of this stuff, but they've got some awesome varieties of seed out right now. You got to go check out all of the stuff that Barenbrug has to offer. But this is the last grass seed. There is one more coming, but this is the last grass seed that I'm throwing out tonight. And this one I can and will for sure irrigate. There's a spigot right on the side of the house there. So this one, if it doesn't stay wet all week, I am definitely going to pull out a sprinkler and irrigate this to get this to succeed as much as possible. You know, like I said, this is all dumb. Don't do this, because when you're putting down seed, you kind of would rather like to control the irrigation instead of let it rain, because if it storms, you can imagine it's going to wash into piles. Blah, blah, blah. I'm experimenting. This is going to be my experimental Bermuda section. We're going to see what Real O'Dad, see if he knows what he's talking about, see if that stuff is legit Bermuda. Also more ideal to probably seed in the fall. I might do my entire backyard this fall. This is going to be the test plot that's going to help me decide whether or not I'm going to do that in the fall, I guess. So anyway, putting down the Turf Blue Pro from Barenbrug in this little triangle. It's actually partially shaded. There's some areas that the Bermuda does not do very well because it's in the shade, like that corner up there. So this will be interesting to see how the bluegrass does. I don't know if it likes shade either, but we're just, again, experimenting. So let's experiment. Whew. Well, after a little skid steer work, I got a little dirty. I'm finally ready to do my last seeds. The last seeds of the day are the Bamert Seed Company wildflower seeds. So they sent us, I don't have the tags anymore, there was some kind of a like butterfly mix and a different wildflower mix that I cannot remember. So sorry, Bamert. But basically they let us choose a couple bags of what we wanted. And you can probably see right here some of the ones that have come up, and these are awesome. So the guy from Bamert told me to throw down some of the seeds in the fall, because he sent it to me in the fall. He said throw some down now and see what comes up, because you'll have some that bloom in the spring. And he said throw some down in the spring and more of them will do better or whatever. So like some of these that are coming up will bloom in the summer, and then we're going to put more down, and some of these will also bloom in the summer, some in the fall. So this is going to be a cool little spot with all these wildflowers. We're going to go down this fence row. I killed off over there, all the way down that fence row. So we're going to do wildflowers and then sunflowers popping up out of the wildflowers. So all along this fence, I'm going to kind of fill in this area with some more wildflower seeds. That spot over there, I killed all that. So I used Roundup and killed all of that junk that's over there, so that the wildflowers would be, you know, the first thing anyway to pop up, or the only thing kind of coming up in those areas. So yeah. Well, there we go. All those seeds are down, and I can actually hear some raindrops hitting this landscape fabric here behind me. So here goes nothing. We'll see if we don't get like a complete flooding washout and all these seeds just flow away. But anyway, I'm hoping for the best. Just a light sprinkle for a whole week. Wouldn't that be perfect? Fingers crossed, right? Can you all send up a prayer for me? But that is gonna about do it. So let's check in on the results. What's up? I was gonna give you a little update. It's a little bit windy, so sorry if there's some noise there, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of update. It has been 2 weeks and it has been wet pretty much that entire 2 weeks. Tons and tons of rain, maybe too much rain at some points, and so a lot of the seed could have washed away, washed out into piles, you know, and made little channels, whatever. So again, this is not the way to do it. If you're spreading seed, that's not the most ideal way to get as much of it possible to germinate. Also up here in the trees, kind of realizing that there's some areas where the seed didn't germinate. I'm seeing some ryegrass up here. I don't think much else other than that just yet. I think pretty much everything that I'm seeing is rye, but I guess if there was some of that fescue popping up, it might look similar to the rye at that stage. So anyway, it's all, you know, real small, but I'm just seeing like a haze of green over some of these areas. So there's a lot of it. There's a lot of ryegrass over here. Like I said, some areas where there's just places where it's covered up with leaves or whatever. I didn't like rake it, I didn't dethatch or anything. So again, results could be better, but I just didn't have time. I didn't have the energy, whatever. I have all these excuses as to why I didn't do everything perfectly, but I didn't. So here we are, and I threw it down just to see what would happen. But a lot of it, I'm seeing just like a green haze over a big area over here. So this is gonna be really interesting to see when it really fills in. It is stopped raining, and there's rain in the forecast like for tomorrow evening and the next day, but it has kind of dried out. So I don't know. I don't know if this means that whatever has germinated now is all that's going to, because if it stops raining, I just don't know. So I'll keep you posted. But anyway, 2 weeks. We are 2 weeks to the day out from when I threw down the seed. Okay, so this is the Kentucky bluegrass area, this little triangle, this section of my lawn over here, and it is popping up. I'm seeing that stuff germinating all over the place, even in between the Bermuda grass. So that probably did wash up into piles. In fact, I can show you places where there's some bare spots, because again, the heavy rain hit this part really hard. Hit well, all of it really hard, I guess. I know because I saw it hit this part really hard. But anyway, so I know it washed it into little areas, and there are blank spaces and that sort of thing. So hopefully it thickens up a little bit over time. I'll overseed it at some point. More Kentucky bluegrass seed to make this little Bermuda area. Maybe even throw some more Kentucky bluegrass down like here pretty soon. I don't know. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I don't really have a perfect plan for any of this. Here are the wildflower seeds. So planted wildflowers all the way down this edge, down the fence, and connecting with the other wildflowers and kind of in those other wildflowers also. So Bamert Seed Company, wildflower, there's a couple different mixes that we got, and they told us that if we put them down at different times of year, different types of flowers would pop up. So we've got those that we put down in the fall, and then I'm interested to see what's going to happen, because now we put these down in the spring, obviously, see if there are different types of flowers and just see what kind of different colors we get, different types of wildflowers. It's pretty neat. So I'm really impressed with the results of the ones we did in the fall. Those have just exploded this spring. And now we're going to see what happens through the summer, because apparently some come in the spring, some bloom in the spring. Other ones, like the hot summer that they've got in this mix, and so those are going to bloom in the summer. So this is going to be cool, just a kind of change of color, change of types of flowers all throughout the year. Oh. Okay, so we did an update at 2 weeks, and we did an update at 4 weeks. This is 5 weeks. I'm just going to give you the update on the Monaco right now, because my 2 week and 4 week updates just didn't make any sense, it didn't flow, so I'm like interjecting this in here. This obviously doesn't flow, but it is what it is. Monaco update now, and then, you know, you've got the 2 week and 4 week updates and everything else. So Monaco on the Fairway out here. Just to start this off, I'm an idiot.
And idiots are dumb.
I spread Monaco seed really heavily over here. I told you, because that's where I could put a sprinkler. I didn't end up turning that sprinkler on. I think I turned it on once. And it rained, like it started raining as the sprinkler was going, so it turned it back off. Anyway, so it didn't matter. I should have just probably spread it out evenly and everywhere, because it did end up raining like for the full 2 weeks. Just everything stayed wet for a full 2 weeks, so it was really cool. It actually worked out well. But the reason I'm an idiot is because I came out here and I'm trying to figure out, why is this Monaco seed not germinating? What's going on? Why am I not seeing very much Bermuda popping up out here? And it was because back in like February, and you can even see it on Left Tool's Instagram page. Left Tool's Instagram page is full of him sitting on his back porch, filming me doing stuff out here at weird hours and weird days while he's over there relaxing on his back porch, rocking in the rocking chair. Anyway, it's even on his Instagram page, a video of me out here spreading pre-emergent back in February. So the genius that I am, I put pre-emergent out here in the winter time and then tried to spread seed. Some of it came up, so the pre-emergent wasn't perfect. I'll show you here in a little bit. Some of this Bermuda came up. So pre-emergent isn't perfect, but the fairway was smaller when I spread pre-emergent. So it's just from where I'm standing and that way is all that got pre-emergent. I don't know how this is gonna look because the sun is that way. So anyway, you can see exactly where I spread the pre-emergent. Can you tell right there? I'm not sure how it shows up on camera, but right here, there's a really good line, like a really good line where there's no crabgrass, you know, other weeds, other junk, Johnson grass, I don't know, other junk, clumping fescue, weird stuff over here. And then lots of crabgrass right over there. So the pre-emergent that prevents crabgrass worked really well. It also prevented a lot of my Monaco seed from germinating in this section. Now, I did do a line. I can see some Bermuda germinating going that way. There's like a strip of it that I showed you when I seeded it. You know, you could see me anyway, like zooming in way off over there. So some Bermuda came up. Now, some Bermuda did come up. Like I said, the pre-emergent wasn't perfect. It didn't prevent every ounce of seed from coming up, and there was lots of rain. So some of that pre-emergent might have been, I don't know how that works, diluted or how you say that. But so right over here, there's actually a good little patch of Bermuda popping up. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. There's some Monaco popping up. My goal was to sort of let this fill in with common Bermuda, but there's not that much common Bermuda over here. Somehow, I don't know, it'll come in. Like there's common Bermuda everywhere. So I think it's just because the common Bermuda, I mean, it used to look like that. So the common Bermuda couldn't do very well when it was basically in the shade. So it'll take a little while of mowing this real low for a bunch of common to start coming up in here and fill this entire area. We'll get the other weeds killed off over time, turn this into a common Bermuda and, you know, seeded Monaco Bermuda fairway. So that's the update. This is gonna take a while. The fairway over here, I mean, I'm not expecting this to be perfect. Whoa, maybe perfect or even that nice this year. But slowly but surely we'll get there. So anyway, now let's go to the 4-week update on everything else, I guess. Oh, real quick, I don't know at what point I showed you that I was dumb because of that beehive timer, the hose timer that I had, and I gave it 2 thumbs down because it didn't have a manual bypass. Well, I'm an idiot. It does have a manual bypass, and so then I like upped my rating. I said, so now it gets a thumbs up because it has a manual bypass. But now, knowing that it has a manual bypass and having used it for a couple weeks, it goes back to a thumbs down because the manual bypass only lasts for 10 minutes and then it shuts off automatically. And then I got this notification on my app. I've not had the thing that long, but as you can see, it doesn't like to operate on a low battery. What is that? Like, tell me the battery's low, and then when it dies, it dies. Don't tell me that you are not gonna turn on when the battery's low. And at first it said 25%, then it popped up with the 50% thing, and I was like, what the? So that's why I went back to a thumbs down. I'm not about like replacing batteries in my stuff all the time. If you like replacing batteries, go for it. But I have actually not hated the little mechanical ones. Orbit makes a little like mechanical timer. You can turn the manual on, you can turn it on timer, and it just shuts off. There's no batteries. It works really well. It doesn't work well when you leave it out all winter and it gets frozen and they crack. So anyway, I'm gonna return. I got the upgraded version of the Beehive that has a better manual settings thing, but it still takes 2 AA batteries. And if it's not gonna work after the battery's at 25% or 50%, I'm not going that way. Anyway, I'm going back to the old crappy little mechanical things, the cheap things. I don't know, sometimes electronics and technology is just not the greatest way to go. So I got long-winded, forgive me. So now on to the 4-week update on everything else. Hey there everybody, I'm not sure where I left off, so we'll just pick up here. Gonna give you an update on the seeds. I think it's been 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere in there since we put the seed down originally. So I'm gonna give you one last update on how all of this is going. I'll start with the wildflowers. So here we are, all along this fence row are the wildflowers. They're all popping up pretty short. Those over there took off pretty fast. Well, I shouldn't say it was fast. It felt fast because once it got warm, they were like exploding. So I know it took them a while to like get tall. And then like once the heat popped in, they like exploded with flowers. So we'll see again what happens with these wildflowers. It's gonna be really cool once the wildflowers are basically filling in this entire area all the way down the fence. I planted more over there where the other wildflowers are also. So yeah, they're doing really well. These get watered over here because when my wife is out here in the garden, she can water those pretty easily with that Flexilla hose reel there. So yeah, anyway, those are doing really well. Thanks, Bamert Seed Company. And someone pointed out that in the last video where I showed you the wildflowers, I forgot to put a link, so I'll put a link in the description to Bamert Seed Company so that you guys can go there and check out some wildflower seeds. They've got lots of different varieties, so it's pretty cool. Okay, now an update on the fescue and rye up here in the trees. So there is just sort of a green haze everywhere. I can look out and just see a bunch of these little tiny rye and fescue plants. I don't know if they'll thicken up. I don't know how this is gonna work, if it's gonna get too hot and they're gonna die, whatever. We'll see what happens. But for right now, it's covering a large part of what was bald up here. So I'm kind of excited. I'm like, man, I kind of wish at some point maybe I'll do this justice and do this project where I like, you know, dethatch everything, pull up all the junk around here, scrape up a bunch of dirt and make it nice and soft or whatever, expose a bunch of dirt, and then come up here and throw a bunch of seed before a rain sometime, because if it worked this well when I didn't do that, now I'm wondering what it would have done if I would have actually done the seed justice. But anyway, it is what it is. This is what we've got now, and I'm happy with the results. It has filled in a lot of the bare area up here in the shade. I almost forgot to give you an update on the Kentucky bluegrass. So the final update here, it's kind of tough to see. If you get down really close, you can see like little sprigs of it popping up here and there. There's a couple spots where it's a little bit thicker, and I'll show you one of those. But otherwise, you got to get in there like really close because the Bermuda is just spreading in. So it'll be interesting to see if any of that is very easy to see a little bit later on, or if it's going to get smothered out by the Bermuda, or how this is exactly going to work. I'm definitely going to do more in the fall, so it's not like I'm depending on this being the only, you know, seeding project for that. I'm gonna overseed with Kentucky bluegrass in the fall. But anyway, now back onto your life.